Stay cool, people. Stay cool.
I'm trying to fix my vent on my air so I can feel it blowing on me. I'm like, whew.
Yeah, it's like a hot box. That's the thing that's crazy. I mean, like so many people, like just heat everywhere. I see these like headlines of like, 1,000 people dying in different countries or whatever because
Yeah.
of heat, and I mean, it's like, dang, it's like, and even like sometimes going in the river or the water is not always the best thing because you're still getting the heat directly on you.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so
I should have came in here earlier and turned the air down, but we were busy trying to get our pool back in order. We let it get out of hand, and we've been working on trying to get it back up and going. So
yeah. Well, we appreciate the four people in the building. What's up, Eric? Eric, how are you? Hope you're feeling good. Tats, what's up, Tats? Always a great supporter. Christina Payne, always right there to moderate and support. LJ said he's stopping in before bed. Have a great show. Much love to you. Get some rest. LJ, thank you for stopping in. And we do have a show tonight, guys. We're just kind of chilling for a few minutes, just kind of before we get things going.
hey
Uh,
James,
but we just want to say hi to everybody. James is recently celebrating his birthday. What's up,
James,
Slushland? Even I mean, would you say it's too hot to have coffee?
yeah.
I mean, because in Canada they have coffee. And you can get a breakfast sandwich for $1.99. That's all. I think that's better than the McDonald's app here in the United States. Because usually,
Um,
because usually you got to spend $2 to get something for free.
I
Unless,
can sometimes they have a special where you can get a $1 breakfast sandwich.
right, but you got to buy one to get one for $1, right?
No,
Yeah,
just about
I've had the dollar one before. And the other day I actually had the McFlurry. So you buy $1 and you get a free McFlurry. So I was like, oh, all right, grab a soda, boom, get a free McFlurry. It was like 7:30 at night. Hit the spot just right. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But yeah, hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Fat? How's it going?
What's up, Fed?
Cassels, how are you? How's it going, Cassels Bath? Glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Or Collector Peen, how's it going? Air Pop Control. But
Hey,
Sassy, we do have a show tonight, and obviously we want to get that going, guys. And so we need to obviously start our Pop in the World intro here, and then we'll be bringing on our guest and getting things going. So, and I know you have some questions. Exciting guest tonight. We went from a Mr. Techbot last week to another Mister. So
yeah.
we'll go ahead and see what we got going on. All right, so here we go. All right. So, Pop in the World has officially begun. So, we do appreciate everybody coming in. Sir Charles Pop in Missouri, how's it going? I believe that he's coming on our show at some point, right?
Yes, next week.
All right. See, look at that. We're already right there. We got to get some of these guys on here, like Fet's Frequency, too. Get some guys that
Yeah,
are coming in
whenever
from
he's ready, he can message
Pop,
me and let me know.
Pop the Chaos. Um, So definitely, what we want to do is we have an interesting show tonight because last week we dealt with Mr. Ted Bach and obviously Disneyland and just his channel, how things have been. But tonight's a little bit different because we deal with a little bit of some design, graphic design, some advertising, interesting things that have happened in the Funko community with. This pop that happened a year ago or two. I think it was last year, right? That it
I don't
happened.
know. Was it last year or the year before? I mean, it
Maybe
may
the
be
year before.
2 years.
It seemed. I mean, I know the time has kind of like been really interesting, but I know it's. I mean, it's a great, great, great pop. And we're going to talk to the creator of that pop, 100%. So we're going to have to welcome him in, guys. Definitely 100%. So let me go ahead and pull this up. So we're going to go ahead and welcome in Mr. Collected. And I love his name because it's the same name as one of my kids.
Easy to remember, right?
Yeah. All right, here we go. And there he is, Mr. Collected.
Do you mean to tell me that you have a child named Collected?
Yes, I that's his middle name, but we go by it because it's just because every time I go in the room, I'm always collecting pieces of garbage or food that he leaves behind. So that's what I've called him now as Mr. Collected.
It's just so catchy. It grips you, you know?
So how and I don't know if a lot of people know you by first name or not. I don't know. Sometimes people don't want to go, be known by their name, which is fine as well. But you are well known in the community as Mr. Collected.
I would say I am. I have even had people come up to me in real life and they're like, "Oh my God, you're Mr. Collected," and I'm like, I'm just a person. Like, what is this? The screen name gobbledygook that we've got going on. Sorry, I just switched y'all so I could like.
But it's nice when you come on. I mean, now what kind of started that name? Do you have that down as a question, Sassy?
It was gonna be a question, but you go right ahead.
Don't even worry. Yeah, I can answer anything.
Yeah, Sassy wanted. I know Sassy had some questions, so I just wanted to make sure. Since she does a lot of the questions, I kind of let her start it off.
So, no, but you can ask that question. Go right ahead.
Well, we just, since we are coming into the fold here, it's Mr. Collected, and does that mean I know you're a great out of the box collector, and I know a lot of people cringe at that, but I mean there's so many great things to discover out of the box. But where did the name come? I mean, how did you throw darts to the wall and you just said, okay, landed here, that's what I'm going with, or how did you come up with the name?
Well, much like Batman, I fell down into a dried up well, and my father kneeled down to me and said, "Jake, why do we fall? To collect things." Horrible joke. And when I was in junior high, it was a silly name that my friends kind of called me to like tease me. I have always been fascinated with collectibles. I guess you could just kind of wrap them into one category like that. I collected 3x3/4 Star Wars action figures for a long time, Pez dispensers, anything that had the prompt, collect them all on it, just really intrigued me. I spent money faster than I made it, which is still a problem I face 10 years later. But yeah, it was a silly old name that just never really went away. And when I started my artwork, like, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it just kind of like popped in my head, and I was like, surely this won't go anywhere. I won't be successful, so who cares what I name myself? And here we are.
I mean, because technically now you could be Mr. Design It.
I could be.
Because of all the great work that you do, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. But it's one of those things where when you look at us as creators and content creators, we like to design our logos, we like stickers, we like to have stuff, and a lot of times we like to switch it up. And I know like Umpty does so much things with his genre of stickers, and I know that he is highly recommend you as well. Um, but so many people in the community just stand by your work 100%. And I want to be able to get something from you one day. I'm just trying to decide. I know it's like a tattoo, right? It's like if you're going to get it, you want to make sure what you get, because you are going to end up, paying for it, and you want to make sure that you want to have it to use for a while. And
Sure.
and then not only that, like, if I include my boys in it, then obviously, that we're talking, you're adding this piece and the props and all that stuff. So definitely there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of hard work, and we definitely want to get into that as well. um, but have you found yourself enjoying uh the collecting side, but still does it seem that you're kind of getting away from that because of so much work that you may be doing with the designing?
I would actually say very much so. It hasn't impacted my collecting, but it's definitely impacted like what I share online. Um, I mean, for example, I have this huge room behind me, just full of things that are very important to me and I think are super awesome and probably a little niche, but whatever, that I would love to share with people. However, after having an account for so long where I'm like just posting art, I feel so sacrilegious posting anything other than that. Um, but then every time I post like a selfie from a con where I'm like upset or irritated, or to give you an example, um, I just posted a picture of me doing just like the dumbest pose in a horrible outfit that I wore at a show this weekend. And it's gotten more likes than any of my art has in like the past month or two. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. No one knows what to do with social media.
And
Um, go
I
ahead.
think I think I might have that one, and I just correct me if it is or not, because I want to double check, because
It's that.
we did put it on our thumbnail, and I'm pretty sure it was this pose, but
Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah, that's me. That's me, all right.
But I mean, how exciting is that to get back into cons? Obviously we didn't know what was going to happen with them, and we had the virtual cons, and now, I mean, even though it's still, it's not a 100% guarantee out there, but just to have that experience back again. And I know that you've had just recently this last weekend that experience. So what was that like? What getting into that con, and being there?
I really feel like it's business as usual now. Last year was really the big push of like, oh, everyone kind of like crawled out of the bushes, like sniffed the air, and they were like, "Is it okay? Can we go back?" And it's like nothing has changed, honestly. Um, I can't speak really on behalf of being like a customer, like an attendee. I haven't been an attendee at a show since like 2018. I just work all the time. Um,
So you don't
but
get an opportunity to kind of walk around and take some of it in a little bit?
not really, like the opportunities I get, people are setting up or tearing down, or it's right before the show in the middle of the weekend where like people are getting coffee or something like that. Sometimes I get to walk around and I like find silly, dumb stuff, and I'm like, there's my treasure for this weekend. And my booth. But yeah, I'm very big on like staying exactly where I am because I don't want to miss anybody or like miss out. So I don't think anything's really changed. I've done about 4 or 5 shows this summer, and they've been, like I said, business as usual.
And like I said, guys, being at a con, for some of us, this is the way to feel 100%. You got to be, you got to like enjoy the moment and look at all the colors that we got going on right here. So I mean, everything's just looking vibrant right there as you walk by. How can you not want to go to the table, right? So 100%. I know for me, like Sassy, you've had some experiences with cons, correct?
Yeah.
And I mean, the closest thing that I am is to San Diego, which I could go to the Comic-Con, and I've thought about it and tried a couple of times, but I'm just not right there yet. But I'm hoping maybe one of these years, to be able to take the boys and go, just to experience, something of that nature. We are looking to go to a couple of them, like in Sacramento. There's a couple of them, but it seems like the East Coast and even like the Midwest, because I know you're in Texas, right? Are you in Texas area?
Yes, yes. I'm very South Texas. I'm like 30 minutes away from water.
Okay.
You know,
So, is that like close, like is it like
I'm just south
Dallas?
of Houston.
Houston. Okay.
Yeah.
My dad lived in Missouri City.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah. So, and I remember going out there when I was younger and visiting and going to like Galveston and, just experiencing how you could get it out of the shower and walk outside and be in an instant sweat. And you just,
Oh, that's good. I sweat as soon as I come out of the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
fun.
real. We
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
a 108 day like last week.
Wow.
Yeah. People don't understand our heat. I'm in Louisiana, so
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right next door.
yeah, right next door. Yeah.
And, and that's what makes it hard too, is because you got to imagine, like, I know they recently were talking about Blade from MCU of possibly filming in Louisiana.
And all that weather.
Well, but the thing is, it's such a huge tax write-off, when they can get a lot of the stuff through there. So a lot of sometimes these companies will look at that, but also New Orleans, I know they're talking about maybe possibly bringing in Gambit. So I mean, New Orleans in Louisiana is something that's popping up. But that's what would be crazy is, most of the filming would have to be done at night, but it still seems like it's still hot, like as it's cooling down until like 3 a.m.
Yeah. On like a good night, it's like 89 degrees, which like some people are already like, oh, that sounds horrible.
Well, even here in Tahoe, where we had snow in May, but it's now starting to get where, I mean, you could feel it, and the temperature is just like, you feel like the sun's right on top of you. So, but we obviously wanted to take some time, and we thank you for spending the time with us here. But those that are checking us out on the rewind, you're here for the first time, we are sitting down with Mr. Collected, and we probably say, well, what does he do? Who is he? Like, what? Well, if you've seen some logos out there, okay, guys, he does some artwork that is fantastic. Now, like I said, he will come out, and he obviously has his signature in the bottom. Now, obviously, Silent Jay and Silent Bob, they're going to have the NFTs coming up. We obviously, Spider-Man, big thing with the Funko that's coming up. I saw the Freddy as Spider-Man, right? Isn't there one of those?
Yes.
And then, obviously, Sassy loves her Joker and Harley Quinn. But it's that type of style, and it is a wide variety. So it's pretty much, once you decide to bring him in and hire him, you have an opportunity to sit down and explore, whatever it is that you want to do. And if you go to his Instagram, you'll be able to see a wide variety of his talent. And you could be like, oh, I like this and this. Maybe I can combine this. Like, this is one of mine right here. I mean, how can I not enjoy Scream Ghostface, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I just saw the one he just did for the luau. I mean, geez, that's amazing. It's
that was fun.
the luau is Steve from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So, Anthony said he did his. Yeah.
Anthony, what's up? Hello. I see Umpty in the chat also. What's up,
Umpty.
man?
Thanks for the
And
super chat, Anthony.
whose house? It's Mark Hauser's house. Johnny Funko, what's up? And then here we go. Go Bob. Hi. Okay, so here's a question. Let's see. Hi, which one of your pops can I have for free? Preferably the most expensive. Thanks.
Ha, ha, ha.
Well, you
Joke's
maybe
on you. I sold all of mine.
yeah. I just gave it to Tat79. He was right before you. What's up, Mama J? And then obviously Anthony Blaze, one super chat, appreciate it. Yes, guys, hit that like button. It's obviously when we come into our streams, you guys know, it helps out the algorithm. It just puts things out there. You guys, as content creators, you want your streams, to be smashed and liked. So we obviously would love for you guys to be able to do that. Cassell Beth, I appreciate it as well being here. Um, Mr. Collector, we do have some questions Sassy's prepared for you.
Let's
So
do it.
I hope you're ready because I know we got you kind of coming in and when you look at time zones like where Sassy is in Texas, because right now you're an hour ahead of us, right? It's so almost 7 o'clock where you are, or how
It's
many
almost
hours?
8 for me.
What is it?
Okay.
It's almost 8.
Oh,
Him and
almost
I are
8.
on the same time zone.
Okay. All right. And so we got that. So for me on the West Coast, I'm almost at 6. You guys are almost at 8. All right. So Sassy, what have you prepared for Mr. Collector?
All right. Roy Prince, Who Dat, Arcade, I see you, and Johnny Funko did a super chat as well. So thank you for the super chat. All right, Mr. Collected, or would you like to be called Jacob?
Y'all can call me whatever you'd like. I
Okay.
answer to so many things.
Now, I say Jacob so many times because that's one of my sons. So I may have to just keep the Mr. Collected because I'm so used to it.
All right. So when did you start doing graphics for YouTubers?
I actually looked at my files like a nerd just a couple of minutes ago, and my first ever one, and it was unofficial. I'm gonna say unofficial because they didn't use it for their channel. It was very much like I was a new person. I was doing them for nothing. I was doing it to afford a soda that night. I'm pretty sure they saw me through my buddy Reyes Pops. Ryan is an old dear friend of mine. I love him to pieces. But bearded BPH, bearded pop hunter.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was my absolute first one. It wasn't even in the style that you see today. It was a very much more still cartoonish because it has a very much 2D effect to it, but it actually looked like him.
Yeah.
I used a picture. But in those days I was doing some portraits just as practice on the side. It was in my masters. I was getting my masters at the time, so I was doing whatever I could for practice. But it was in 2018, so I want to say what is that, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
So I guess I've for about 4 years now.
That's awesome.
And I guess professional is as soon as people are paying for your work,
Yeah.
But yeah, Bearded Pop Hunter was one of the first. He's one of the biggest. I've done a lot for Haha Collectibles. I did a lot for Umpty, obviously. Umpty's my boy. Bearded Pop is a big one of mine. I'm sure I'm missing others. I apologize. I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, I feel like I work with a lot of people these days. It's hard. But,
yeah.
Those are some of the bigger ones.
Real quick, just want to say hi to the immortal Biggie Shack. What's up, Biggie Shack? Good to see you. Guys, just so you know, if you guys are looking for logos, if you guys are thinking about creating something new and different, and you don't know who to quite go to, this is a great show for you to walk into. Just to kind of show you offhand, some of the work that is being done, and he on his page, his Instagram, there is just so much more, but just the different variety that's out there. And we're not talking just, creating the actual characters. They can put them in your face, however you want to do it. It's totally up to you. You can go ahead and reach out to him. Like I said, he can create those characters to come alive on your page. So definitely you want to make sure you can hit him up 100%. So
I had that dream too, and that was just sustaining myself with art. So I'm glad that we're on the same page.
I know that people can just give you like a general idea of what they're thinking of, and then you just kind of like put something together. Because I heard you work very quickly. They submit their ideas, and within hours you're like, okay, here you go. So that's
I
pretty
will say I'm quite critical of myself, as many artists are. I always feel like I'm taking too long, that I take people's time. I'm also very, very ADHD. I take medication, go to therapy, the whole 9 yards, and unfortunately, some people I forget about. But being forgiven is a big part of my brand. I appreciate that a lot. Um, but yeah, I have been told that I'm very fast. I pride myself on being quick. I'm very responsive. I always have my assistant with me. So I definitely try. Like I hope that that's like a part of like the price that people pay to work with me. I'm like, hey, you're gonna have my attention, and I'm gonna get this done. Are you ready? You know, um, it's kind of it goes. It's kind of all over the place. I know this is another question that you have like lined up, so I apologize for answering it early.
no, it's quite all right.
But I'm also a high school art teacher. So during the school year, it's like kind of a crapshoot to like, depending on what my time looks like, so it's out there. But the fact that people say I'm fast, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
Well, there's a rumor that you got some kind of juice that allows those out of box pops to help you work a little bit.
Yeah, it's called Vyvanse.
What's up, Tills? Big Easy, how's it going? Appreciate it. And Sassy, I don't want to miss people, but there was a question. Basically, generally a special delivery Charizard. Well, we do have the Charizard for you. Where's that?
If I may, I saw a question that only I could answer. This is the Shining carpet. Whenever I collected my pops, this was a very appropriate thing to just kind of tie the room together,
How'd you come across that?
Etsy.com. Go support your local artists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
I was
cool.
doing really good last summer, so I treated myself and got an expensive rep.
Yeah, they actually Shelley Duvall, they actually had to like keep her like closed off from everybody. Like they kept her in isolation so she would get into the role a little bit better. Like the director really went after like just keeping her like away from people and just kind of getting her to that point of having to react to Jack and everything. And what it was also cool, I wonder how it would change today, but the hedges when he was out there in the end of the movie going through the maze, they wanted them to be shaped like animals that would kind of go out after you. Like, they would have that hallucination way of attacking you or something like that. But because of the special effects and things, they didn't have it. So, which, probably works for itself anyway. So, but let's see. Okay, we have an idea for the Funko community. Absolutely, I will do that. Tills. So Mark Hauser, and yes, I work at a school myself, so I definitely understand how that is. And art, I love the art teacher. He's a great guy too. So it's amazing how that works. A lot of people, like my son, he loves his art teacher. Teachers are amazing people. I know what they're saying. They always have a lot on their plates. Yes, absolutely. And there's, what's interesting. I just recently saw in Arizona, they're having an issue with getting teachers, that they're now looking at maybe hiring people without credentials in to get in and teach.
They're just the only state talking about it. It's happening everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Can't keep
I don't have credentials, and I've applied for the job that I applied for, But I mean, all my other degrees kind of could be a credential.
Well, I've been around the school for a long time, so I mean, like I have that school experience type thing, where I mean, I could, and there's been many times I've been in a classroom just watching the classroom where it's like, hey, they're not paying me the teacher salary today. Like, what's the deal, But I mean, it's just amazing. But at the same time, it's like you do want to feel that your kids are going to get an education and not just sit in the classroom and just chill, So it's tough, but also from our standpoint, it's like I don't want to go back to school for 8 years or whatever, but I wouldn't mind being in the role of teaching because like I'm in a special education instructor, like an assistant, and I'm there all day long, but I don't make the pay like the teacher, and so it's frustrating sometimes, because you're doing just as much work, if not, in the classroom per se. I don't necessarily have to work with 30 individual kids, but there's times where I've taken on 13 kids in one classroom just to me. So, um, and Nancy herself, she works in the education field as well. So, what's up, Baby Ice, Jeremy Knapp? Appreciate you guys coming in. Hope you guys are doing well. So, all right. So what we got?
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you got into making designs for people, and you did in fact design an award-winning Funko for Funko itself, right?
Yeah. So, being this designer for hire was never really something that I feel like I intended. It wasn't a mission of mine. I feel like I kind of was like grabbed and yanked into it, which I'm fine with. It's fun. I enjoy it. But it wasn't something that I like woke up one day and was like, this is what I was meant to do. But it's a fun job. I enjoy it. I really don't think it's hard to say. I really don't think that the correlation between Cutie Corn and the logo branding making go hand in hand. Truly, I had been a fanatic since 2012. So I had been like in the community for quite some time. And folks in the community knew that I was an artist who had just known me for a long time. And when that contest came up, I was just my DMs exploded. They were like, dude, you have to do something. You have to do something. It was at a pretty horrible time of my life that happened. So I really think what made it successful was I just tried to make the most like positive and adorable and endearing design that I could. And I just wanted to like smile, I guess. So I think that that's what played into Mr. Corn.
Now, what he's talking about, those that may not know, okay, because there are people that are new this year in the community or have not heard the story. There was a pop, and I'm going to show you a picture, but he'll probably have it as well.
Well, there was a contest, right, Jacob?
Yes.
You tell us a little bit about how the contest went and how you got involved with it and the little process.
Yeah, so for anyone curious, sorry about the glare on the computer. This is my boy, Cutie Corn. Yeah. So it was right before Comic-Con time. It was like in May-ish. And they just like they did the other day with opening a Discord chat, they just like posted on their socials. They were like, hey, we're hosting a contest to design our next Fantastic Classic. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was a very clever and business savvy way for Funko to get new ideas and designs. I was like, aha, I'm not a stranger to this gimmick. But I really did think that I had a shot. And if I didn't do well, I was like, whatever, write it off. I can't tell you what their credentials were. That's something I still have no idea about. But I really felt like I stood a chance. It kind of like soft blew up on Instagram. I think it got like over 1,000 likes or something like that. People were DMing me about it. They're like, dude, if this doesn't win, I'm gonna riot. All this crazy junk, people just talking. And I was like, oh my God, like I could be a contender. So that was super cool. So fast forward about a month or two, and at the time, Cameron of the Funko social team, he was DMing some people. He had DM'd Tanner, Pot Fanboy, and he had told him, hey man, you're a finalist. We have a Fun Days ticket for you. Can you go? They DM'd the other guy. I'm so sorry. I'm blanking on his name right now. I think his name's maybe Chris. And then I kid you not. So Tanner reached out to me because he's another Funko community artist, and he was like, hey man, I just got it. Have you heard anything? And I was like, no, I haven't heard anything. And he was like, dude, I'm sure it's in the mail, like I'm sure the DM got put in someone else's inbox. But days went by before I got mine. I was actually in the Nationals baseball stadium when I got the DM, and I like cried like a baby in front of a bunch of strangers. So it was really amazing being one of the 3 finalists. Made last minute plans to go to San Diego. That was super great. As the story goes, I did not win. I got 3rd place. Just documenting what happened in the room. It seemed to be very disappointing. People were upset. People were sad. But we got Bat Boy out of it, which is a great design. We got the Tiki Zombie Man, which was awesome. Both great designs. But yeah, luckily about like September, about 2 years ago, I just got a DM just out of nowhere, and they're like, hey, Mr. Collect It, you remember all those legal documents you signed saying that Cutie Corn belonged to us? Well, we're going to make them now. Give us your address. We're going to send you a couple, and just be ready. And I was like, sure. Okay, cool. Whatever. Yeah. And then that's all she wrote.
That's pretty awesome.
And so once again, guys, there you go. Cutie Corn. That is the design. 100%. It's a great looking pop. If you have an opportunity to have one, they stood in line, Funko Hollywood, a lot of people just to try to get these. So they were hot items, 100%. But that's so Mr. Collect It. And I just want to say hi to Annie M. I know Annie M said she's not gonna be able to stay very long. Annie M's in Hong Kong, and so she's waking up. So we want to say we want to share a cup of coffee with Annie M there. Hello, Annie M. Sharing some coffee with you, my dear. And of course, Umpty. We gotta give Umpty his, right. But okay, so what else we got, Sass?
Well, Pop Tompkins is in the chat, and Frog Pop Fanatic is in the chat.
Oh,
which Frog Pop Fanatic will be on the show August the 1st.
Very, very cool. What's up, Frog Pop? Pop Tompkins, blessings to you. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. And Baby Ice.
And Mark Schaefer stopped in for a minute.
Mark Schaefer, how's it going? Appreciate you guys coming in, spending a little bit of time, spending some love, getting to sit down here and know a little bit more about Mr. Collect It. And like I said, if you guys are looking for logos, if you guys are looking for designs, you definitely are going to want to hit him up. As far as what I have heard, I still would like to get something, and I do have that planned. But from everybody that I have talked to that has gotten something from him, hands down, they feel that he is the best. And like I said, and I've talked to a lot of people. So I definitely appreciate the input, because when you get something like this, some people can say, hey, I can do this, and then I can do this and this, but like, it is something that you have taken on a great deal over the last couple of years and added a lot of changes to certain things, but just your designs come to life. And so guys, let me go ahead and we're going to run a little commercial here for Mr. Collect It. definitely, you want to check out his page. He'll give you an idea, a rundown of prices. You can hit him up and give him ideas. He's usually fast on the turnaround, especially now with no school in the summertime. It's probably a pretty good time to hit you up, right? When you're not at cons and stuff. Um, and then speaking of cons, Sassy, I don't know if you know it or not, but there was also a design, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, but wasn't this something that the con had asked for in regards? Is this a design? I can't remember. Or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this is a logo that he had created, and I know that he is also. If you guys are getting anywhere near this con, that will be coming up, the Emerald City Comic Con. Those are always fun to go to. So any con that might be in the area, you never know. You may run into Mr. Collected. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna be there, but yeah, you might see my work. Could be.
well, and that's the thing is you obviously if you go and get his work, and some of the stuff that he does, I mean that's what you want to do is reach out to him, let him know, hey, I got this idea for something. And has there been anything that has kind of like been a roadblock for you?
I'm
Uh,
sorry, you broke up.
well, has anything been a roadblock? Something says this, and you're like, wow.
What?
Can you still not hear me?
I can hear you
Yeah,
better now.
now we can hear you.
I don't. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know. Like sometimes a certain time of the day, your internet causes issue. Like, have you ever had that? Like where your internet goes out for like 5-10 minutes, or you just have like I don't know. Like I mean, everything's hooked in, so I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, it's these cutie corn ghosts that are running around. I guess but what is there a roadblock for you? Like that you ran into that maybe somebody said, "Hey, I would love to do this," and you just maybe you're like, this is going to be tough, or I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, or has everything been pretty smooth?
I definitely pride myself on being able to draw anything. If I am not confident with it, I'm not above looking for like tips and tricks online. Um, but the more difficult projects are when people come to me and they just have like no idea what they want, and they're like, "You're the artist, you make something," and I say, "Absolutely not." I have been burnt 6 times, and I'm keeping it at 6. It's never going to happen again. Where I have completely produced something because they're like, "I'll love whatever you make," and then they don't, and they're like, "This isn't what I paid for," and I tell them, "You paid for my time, actually." Um, so I have a very small group that is probably disgruntled customers, but that's fun. They brought it on themselves. Hot take.
And there's always going to be people like that like I mean if you're giving you the free will to do what you're thinking, I mean, then you should definitely appreciate what you put into it, I mean, otherwise, hey, step up and say, this is what I want. Like,
Yeah,
here's the money. This is what I want. Like, can you do it? Yes or no?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I can do that. Great. All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing what you do.
Hyper specificity is the way to my heart. You want me to draw you in Iron Man Mark 97 armor on a Thrasher skateboard with a blue snow cone in your hand? Say no more. I got you. But if you're like, make me a superhero, I'm like, no.
What's up, the 717 detector? How are you? Samantha
Kenneth
Thompson, Kenneth Bird. How you doing, my friend?
Samantha Tompkins
Appreciate you guys stopping in.
Thompson.
Obviously, now is there some stuff that you really, really get into drawing? Like, I mean, you got genres, your anime, your Marvel, your DC, your horror. I mean, is there something that you really feel like is like, I know you feel you can just draw anything, but I mean, obviously, there's got to be stuff you love drawing more, right?
I definitely love drawing things that no one cares about. Um, that's like my shtick. I like to, so like aside from like paid work, I love drawing Pokemon. Pokemon is a franchise that's very near and dear to me. I love drawing Marvel characters, but not as the MCU, but as like old comic book era. You know, like you had that Moon Knight up very clearly, not Oscar Isaac, very much
Right.
so like first appearance Moon Knight, just because I think it's fun. Whenever it comes to like commissioned work, I find a lot of joy in drawing things that I've never drawn before. Like I think it was who was here in chat? Not not old Benny. I drew a soda can. I'm trying to for Anthony.
Anthony.
I drew him as a Funko Soda, which is the first time I had been ever asked to do that, and that was a ton of fun. I really just like super copied. You know, that wasn't like the difficult part, but all of the branding stuff, like the ribbon that goes across, getting the letters just right, and then being able to very naturally, I feel very arrogant saying this, but very naturally be able to put my own art on a can and have it like not look off-putting was super cool, and I really loved doing that commission. That's one recently that I was like, yes,
Nice.
that was fun for me. Because I've made so many at this point, you know, like someone's like, make me a stormtrooper, make me as the Silver Surfer, but then someone's like, I want you to make me Thor, but on a soda can. I was like, say no more.
So now, I mean, with sodas being very popular in the Funko community, you would think that maybe that's a version now that a lot of people may go. They may have something regular from you, but now it might be like, okay, now I want a soda version too.
Yeah,
And I mean, you definitely, I mean, there's so much out there that you can add on to that. And you figure once somebody gets artwork done by you, you know, they're going to be back. And, you know, so there's so much that can be done. What's usually the turnaround time on average, you know, for you? Like, I mean, that people can expect, you know, a product.
that's bait. That's a
Um,
trap question. I know a trap when I see one. Honest answer. Um, the time super varies, right? It depends on the day. It depends on the time of day. It depends on if you're the first person that's commissioned me in a week or two, or if you're the 16th person who's commissioned me. If let's say on a great day, I'm living in a cardboard box. I haven't had it work in a month. And someone comes to me and they're like, "Hey, man, can you draw my daughter as Evie?" I can get that done in like a couple hours, you know. Maybe even make it one or two if you are glued to your phone and just like ready to respond like immediately. Um, if I'm just like the most popular man in the world and I'm going viral, it can take a couple of weeks, you know. And I try to be very upfront with people, you know, when they come to me. The people that ask, they're like, "Hey, man, how long do you think this will take?" And I'll give them an honest answer, but the time can just super vary.
Right. Yeah. So Johnny says, have you ever got a really bad creative block since you've been drawing?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. I'm gonna tell you a story about this beautiful little thing called burnout. And whenever you do a million things like me, and you don't give yourself time to recover like me, it happens a lot. Um, some people could argue that follow my account very closely. I haven't posted a lot of anything lately. Um, I do shows on the weekend. I fulfill orders the first couple of days of the week returning from that show. And then I just want to hang out, you know. I want to play a video game. I want to like pet my cat, you know. I want to work out. It's very hard to balance all of it. Um, there are definitely also times where I'm doing all of it, but then also trying to pump out like a doofus doodle a day, you know, and that consistently leads to burnout. Um, so, you know, it happens. It happens to every artist. Every artist you ever talk to will tell you about burnout. Any hobbyist, I would say, can lead to burnout. You know, I bet Funko collectors are like, man, I've been not buying nothing but pops lately. I think I need to pump the brakes. You know, it
Yeah.
happens. It
Right,
happens.
right. I mean, and it sucks because, you know, like especially like today, Monday, they go and drop a couple of sodas, you know, and you're like, God, you know, like I just like people that just got done spending money on the Funko, you know, con boxes and stuff, and it's just like we don't go in the backyard sometimes and get the money off the trees, you know. It doesn't
Right.
always work that way, you know.
Sometimes
And
releases are tough.
yeah, so and it's like if you're not ready to go, you're either having to pay that market price or you just hope that maybe the price comes down or somebody gets an extra or whatever the case may be. Um, but you're like, okay, I need to slow it down a little bit. Like I need to take a little break. Maybe if there's something that really stands out, then I'll go after it. But like there's other things in life too, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and unfortunately before, you know, collecting and Funkos and all that stuff, there was life, you know, where you didn't necessarily, I mean, yeah, I wish that when I was younger, I could have kept every one of my Star Wars figures in the packages, you know, as is. I still have the original ones, you know, out of the package, but I don't have a lot of them, but I have a good amount. You know, I'd like to go back and get the first year of all the Simpsons stuff, you know, like that came out, you know, just to have as collecting, and maybe go back and get the Cabbage Patch Kids and you know stuff like that, and just that you could, you know, totally have today as a driving point for some of your collectibles for today, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I had a box of Batman cards. They were tops, like the '89 Batman, and I ended up selling them for like $1,250. And um, you know, and it's like I said, something's only going to be worth what somebody's willing to pay. But you know, there's some good things that obviously people would love to get their hands on, and you know, for some people, money is not an issue. So you know, it's just finding that right connection. But as a collector, you know, and this is the difference right now. And I know a lot of people in the community are, you know, sometimes torn, you know, in the box, out of the box. Now, Sassy, do you have any questions about out of the box collecting?
Well, I was just gonna ask him what he collects besides Funko, because you can see he has a nice collection behind him, and how many Funkos he has, and is he still actively collecting? You know, the general questions.
Okay. I'll get to Johnny's question too, because now he said, have you ever had a person cancel on a drawing when you were just about to finish it?
Yes, absolutely. I haven't had many like firm cancellations. I had exactly one that ended with the person being like, "Hey, man, I just don't think this is working out. I want a refund. Some rude words were uh, thrown my way with an unfollow. Um, looking back at the situation, I'm always open to see like what I did wrong. I couldn't tell you what I did wrong. I just again I needed details from him, and he didn't want to give me details, and that was a bummer for sure. I've definitely had people that they haven't told me as much, but I'm pretty sure I disappointed them at some point. I will say a lot of these are separated by like years. You know, they were very much like in my infancy in doing this.
Yeah. Do you
Everyone,
take a deposit? I mean, because I mean, it seems like you should like take a deposit, because if they do that, you're like, hey, well, you know, I'm still getting something for my time, you know?
you know, I'm a big baller. I take everything right up front. Um,
Okay.
I and I I don't even I haven't thought of what I would do if someone would cancel because it hasn't happened in so long. Um, I haven't thought about that really at all. You know, I definitely try to please the customer. Do I always get it right? Probably not, but I definitely strive for customer service. So, it's happened only a small handful of times. One very notable time. I won't name drop. I'm not interested. But yeah.
What's up, Mr. Gretzky 9966 and Root Crew? How are you? Jenny just celebrating her birthday yesterday. Well, one of the things. So, I mean, does and like I said, it's your business, your idea to do how you want to do it. In regards, do you offer people the opportunity to do a payment plan, or do they? So it's all
Sure.
everything's up front. So
I,
once they pay, then you'll start doing it, right?
Yes, I definitely have had people. I'm like, look, if you can only give me $5 right now, like, sure, man, I'm cool with that. Like, your name will get on the list. I'm not going to start until I have everything, and that's, like, it takes one person to ruin it for everybody. I've had people essentially get their commission by not paying me everything. So I'm just looking out for me. I'm looking out for number one. As you can see, I have a huge staff behind me helping to make sure that I don't get screwed over every day. It's just me. There's no one else. I answer the DMs. I make the orders. I work with the people. I do the drawing. I handle the finances and the taxes and stuff. It's just me. So,
Okay. Johnny's got questions there, Sassy.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a piece of art that you drew up that you thought to yourself, wow, I actually did better than I thought that it was going to turn out? But you seem to have pretty good confidence in how you're handling things. So, is there some pieces that you're just like, wow, like the details, everything came out like better than I expected?
No, I hate my art. But it's rare that I really like take a step back and I'm like, yeah, I did that. It's very, very, very rare. I think the last time I did that was sometime last year. I did a recreation of the Mario Kart 64 start screen. And it was one of the first pieces I had ever done where I had like literally drawn everything on the canvas, including the text and the cars, which I'm just horrific at drawing. Don't pay me to draw cars. But yeah, it doesn't happen that often.
Have you always known that you wanted to be an artist or be an art teacher, or you just always were doodling growing up? Or I mean, what did somebody inspire you, or how did that come into play?
No one like super inspired me. I started being an artist when I was really young. I loved cartoons so much that I thought I could just draw my own whenever I wanted. So I would sit in front of the TV and like draw Hey Arnold and like the Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob. And then whenever I went to school, I could just draw them again. That was like how my like 6-year-old mind worked. I consistently got in trouble for drawing at school. Little did everyone know that was like my mechanism to like pay attention. It was whenever I wasn't actively working on something that my mind would wander. But if I was drawing like a Tyrannosaurus Rex next to my algebra work, I would retain information so much better. The teachers saw it as me not paying attention, but that was when I was the most alert. Later, like in my life, I took a lot of inspiration from comic artists like Faith Erin Hicks, Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim. I would also put Mike Mignola up there, who's the creator of Hellboy. Just really committing yourself to a style, and when it works, it works, and you stick with it. And I think that's really admirable. But yeah, I think I answered your question. I'm sorry, I rambled.
No, that's quite all right. You answered it very well. I appreciate that.
I was trying to look for something on that I could pull up. I wanted to see if I was able to pull up like Sassy. I don't know if you're able to on the Instagram. Sometimes I have a hard time on my Instagram because I had 2 accounts. So sometimes it doesn't always pull up my Two Boys and Their Pops account. Um, but I was wondering if you did, then you could share some of his artwork that we have. Like I said, I put some things on here, but I don't want to show over a lot of this stuff. Now, growing doing some of this art, growing up, is there something that like, I mean, you were as a child, a huge fan of something, so now it's like you're bringing that to life through your artwork. Is there something out there that you really enjoy more? I mean, like you're like, okay, no matter how much I could do this all day, just drawing this particular character or this show or whatever. Is there something that you don't get tired of drawing?
Uh, I mean, I would say like video game stuff.
Okay, because
I,
you
I
said you like Pokemon,
I do
right?
love Pokemon. From the deepest, darkest realms of my heart, I love Pokemon so much. Um, I really love Mario. I love Sonic. If you can play it, I'm a fan.
So are you
Um,
looking forward to the Nintendo lands that are going to be coming out?
yeah, I was in the midst of actually planning a trip to Japan before the Big Bad Pandy happened. But now we're getting one in the States, so like, over there.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
are they doing it? I can't. Are they doing it in Florida, or are they doing it in Hollywood, or are they doing both? I can't
I
remember
think
what
they're
they said.
doing both because I think Mr. Techbot said that there was one in Florida going to.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we want to give you guys a little taste of just like I said, if there's things that you guys think of, if you're saying, you know what, I'm due for a new logo, I want to do something, this could be something that can inspire you, but we want to give you an idea behind some of these here and just showing the detail and everything that's open. It's a variety of things. It's not just one particular fandom. So like I said, it falls in the category that you might like. As you can see, he's an out of box collector. Which is, and I do want to ask you if there's certain pops out there that you were really surprised to find something by taking it out of the box.
Yeah, I know that there were some like super early on that just really floored me by taking them out. I'm gonna have trouble answering that right off the bat. I can tell you, I mean, this is an easy one. The Ghostbusters, like their proton packs are like super detailed, and they definitely didn't slack on them. So as soon as you take them out and you look at their backs, it's very awesome sculpting they
Okay,
had on there.
so that's
Gosh,
good to know. Well, I know for me, like Krampus has a child on the back.
yeah, you
Uh,
would never know. You would never
yeah,
know.
and so that's what is to me, like like I know a lot of people don't want to take their pops out, but at the same time, like, I mean, there's something about them breathing, and there are going to be some that do. I mean, maybe you can research before you buy it, like if there are details in the back, beforehand. But I just know that when I've opened a few, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool how they did this, and it makes sense, especially like the Krampus. So you don't get that portion of it. And but there are a lot of people that are just like, oh, you took it out of the box, like what are you doing, and there's so much great artwork on some of these boxes, like you being an art teacher, I mean, would you say, I mean, I think that horror has probably the best design, or would you say it's anime? How do you feel about some of the box artwork that has been displayed?
I definitely started out as an inbox collector. The only reason I became out of box was Hurricane Harvey came through and really demolished some very expensive boxes. Um, so it was that combined with the fact that at one time I had over 1,000 pops. I was like, it's time. It's time. I did go on PPG, however, and I kept my like top 100 like most expensive pops. I kept those boxes for a rainy day, which has came and gone. Um, but yeah, I did love the box art, particularly the art on the side of the box right here.
Right.
That was my favorite way to display them. I even got quite a few autographed, like right here above their heads. I would literally take painter's tape and like take it to a show and be like, "Can you sign in between these two pieces of tape, please?" And then I would take off the painter's tape so that I was measuring. I would take the pop and like put it in front of the box, and I want the signature right above their head.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was definitely, I had fun. Um, but yeah, I loved the artwork. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm with you on horror. However, I'm a huge avid horror fan. I just think there are so many properties that might be like a little niche or that people don't know about that I think would be incredible pops that they just like haven't got to yet. So I don't think I can give it to horror as much as I want to. I had
Well,
a lot of my dream pops are horror themed. That just Funko seems to have zero interest in making. So
well, I mean, I really like. I wish they would make more of, especially since Scream came out, and I really wish that they had made more pops, of Scream franchise. But like for me, I have the signed Ghostface by Roger L. Jackson, and I just love, when you look at the artwork in the back and just how things can be detailed. I've always enjoyed that.
want me to
Or
blow your mind?
what's that?
Want me to blow your mind? I
Uh-oh.
I also have a signed Ghostface pop from Roger Jackson.
Oh, nice. See, what did you get? Did you get?
Got it signed on the side.
Oh, you got it on the side.
Uh,
So, did you get? What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know. I think I'm never a big fan of the silly like additive. I'm like, if you just put your name, that'd be cool. You know,
Well, the thing is a lot of people would say, okay, like, who do you want on there? Do you want Nev Campbell? Do you want this? And I was like, well, the one thing that's been steady throughout the franchise is the
the
voice.
voice. Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Yes, everyone thought I was crazy, and I was
yeah,
like, it's the same guy.
yeah,
Come on. I
yeah. I
love
mean,
Matthew Lillard just as much as everybody else, but it's the voice.
yeah, and then because otherwise it's like, do you have all the ones that played Ghostface to sign it? And I get it, like, Stu's a big character, but I do have I did recently also get the Ghostface Mask signed by Mikey Madison, who
Sure.
played, but and I could always take that mask and have the other actors at some point sign it. But I just have taken pride in when it comes to signature pops, and that's something that I wouldn't take out of the box. Unfortunately, I did have to take it out to send it in.
Sure.
But I also have like Freddy Krueger signed by Robert England. I got Kane Hodder by Jason Voorhees, and
You too.
I,
Want to play this game?
well, what I'm jealous is because you were in Texas. And I know recently Brad Dourif was at a con in Texas, and that's one of my ones on the list is to get for Chucky, Brad Dourif.
While y'all play this game, I will be right back.
Going to the restroom. But Brad Dourif would be my last one that I would really enjoy having.
I have Tobin Bell
Okay.
signed on Billy.
Okay.
I have a Bruce Campbell, but I'm very, very disappointed to admit that is not one I got in person. I had a friend get that one, and I'm gonna look like a fake fan with this one. My like pride and joy one, the one that I probably won't get rid of, is I have a signed Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay.
Signed by his actor. I can't think of the actor's name right now. But he doesn't do a lot of shows. He's only like in his area, very old gentleman.
Right.
I do have a Peter Mayhew.
Oh,
Which
nice.
is crazy. I have a Chewbacca signed. Who else passed away recently? This is one that you're gonna like. I have a signed Sid Haig.
Oh. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, that having that stuff and being able to get it before they pass away, because you're like, I mean, that's why I'm glad I have Robert England,
Yeah.
because having Robert England, I know that he's getting up there.
Dude, that dude's never gonna die. He was just in Stranger Things. You know? Like, he's never gonna die.
He's gonna be. I hope they do one more Freddy Krueger with him, but
It might. I have two Robert Englands and I have a Christopher Lloyd. For better
Christopher
or worse,
Lloyd.
he's getting pretty old too.
I'm trying to finish the Universal monster line. Right now, I do still need to get Creature from the Black Lagoon, but like recently, like Tat79, I appreciate him so much. He AOK'd me the Mummy. So I know Frankenstein and the Frankenstein's Bride will be a little bit easier to get, but the Creature from the Black Lagoon is the one I need to get. I have the monster, the mutant monster, and I have where's the other one I was looking at? So the Mummy, the Phantom of the Opera, but Universal Monsters has always been something since my dad brought in, like brought to me. So, but I definitely horror line is just something, like I said, I know it's not for everybody, but I've always enjoyed it, and it's something I've handed down to my boys, and it's been handed down to me. So. Um, I will continue. I like the pops. I like the details of them. So, I will always try to find that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Handmade by Robots? The stuff that they have. It's a company called Handmade by Robots.
I know. I do art for him.
Okay. So yeah, all right. So I mean, I love those. The Ghostface and stuff that they have. But I mean, there's some really good stuff out there. I won it. I don't know if you do how much customs entirely that you do or are around a lot, but I did get a custom Freddy Krueger Pusheen.
That's fun. That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
But I mean, horror's been there. So, but yeah, Mark Hauser says a signed Chewy. I mean, Funko PDX has a Hulk Hogan. Definitely getting up there in age. What's up, PDX? Simon Crook, how's it going? I mean, a lot of people will say I don't care about the signed pops as much, and I think it just when that character or that person has brought that character to life over the years, like it's something just of value, even if I don't end up selling it and I hand it down to the boys, whatever. Like it's just someone that's been part of my life, you know. And so I think it's important to have some of that, and that's why for Chucky, that's one of my last ones that I'd like to have, so I can have the OGs. I do have Michael Myers signed, so I'm just trying to work. I do have a Chucky signed by Ed Gein, but I'd like to get Brad Dourif. So, but Sassy has returned. Sassy, what other questions do you have? I know also there was another one I wanted to ask from Johnny Funko. So if one of your pops from your collection came to life, which one would you hope that maybe you could make that kind of create that? Do you remember the old movie Puppet Master?
No, I do not. I do remember Indian in the Cupboard though, which was also about toys coming to life.
Yeah.
She's I don't know. Pickle Rick.
Pickle
maybe.
Rick. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I mean, that'd be kind of fun to hang out, say, have Pickle Rick hang out for the day.
Maybe he could teach us. I don't know.
So when you're in high school, I mean, did you take your art classes? You're obviously a teacher. Did you take away from things in history of art like Van Gogh? How did you get some of your inspiration as you were going through your younger years?
King of controversy. I'm here with another hot take. I freaking hate art history. I think it's horrifically boring and dull, and I just don't care. I like comic books. I like cartoons. I
Okay.
don't care about Vincent Van Gogh. But that's just me. So no, I took no inspiration from art history. I fell asleep. Uh, I also hated my art classes in high school. My teacher hated me. She didn't like that I drew cartoons. She didn't like that people liked my cartoons and that I got awards for them. So she treated me differently. And then 10 years later, I came back and I took her job. So,
Wow.
Wow. You know, it's also funny too. People should never criticize. I know there's kids that sometimes will draw on their work, like their notebooks, and they're doodling and stuff. You know, like obviously, like that's a good ability to release and just have to get better and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you know, don't be drawing on your papers. Don't be doing this and this." It's like if you have a talent, like it's hard, just like singing. You know, drawing is not an easy thing to do, you know, 100%. So, you know, I've always enjoyed people that can take that and bring something to life so easily. And I know there's classes and there's ways of teaching and learning, but it's like, man, just to like take a piece of paper and then transfer. I went to Disneyland and they had that little shop where you can learn how to draw a Disney character. And I mean, that was a lot of fun. You know, I
oh,
mean, me and the boys sat there and I think I did Winnie the Pooh, but it was just like, it was a lot of fun.
yeah. Mhm.
So, all right, Sassy, what do you got?
I think we pretty much answered all of them, but what do you like to do in your pastime? Which you said you like to play video games, you like to work out. And what are your plans for the future? Where do you see Jacob next 5, 10 years?
Oh gosh. Above ground preferably. Um, but I don't know. You know, like obviously the next goal is to be able to full time. Um, I have a Patreon. I don't know what to do with it. I post stuff on there a little early, and sometimes I send stickers. But that's like, you know, like I'm figuring out. I want it to be more enticing to people, but I have no idea how. Um, but the real goal is to just be able to be an artist full time. You know, that's finding some more steady work. That's being able to like live off of it full time. Um, if that means traveling to shows all over the country, then sure. If it means staying right here and working on stuff for you, the viewer, all day long, then sure.
What
Um,
what about t-shirt? Like I know a lot of people have spring tees and stuff like that. Like have you ever thought about taking some of your artwork and transforming it into t-shirts?
you know, I have. Currently in my life, I'm in a very creative bind. I find it very hard to like click that switch in my brain.
Yeah.
Um, so as soon as I'm able to turn it on, I'm definitely going to come up with some stuff that I would love to
Okay.
put on some shirts or like some stickers or whatever. But that's a hard one. But yeah, 5, 10 years, I definitely don't want to be teaching. I come from a long line of educators, and that was the one thing I told myself I would never do. Here I am. Um, but as soon as I feel comfortable leaving teaching, probably out.
Well, and the hard part is you know, and we need some really really good art teachers, 100%. But teaching, you know, is a different animal these last couple of years, and just things that have been going on in general. And it kind of drains you a little bit. I know probably this last year I have felt a little bit of, you know, like, uh, you know, sapped energy a little bit. But there are some kids that just come in and you're just like, wow, man, this kid's really good. Like, you know, and so kind of gives you a little influence of saying, okay, I get to work with this kid and teach them, you know, and kind of, you know, shape them a little bit for the next couple of years because, you know, maybe they're with you for 3 or 4 years, you know, based on what kind of classes they take. But being able to inspire some of the younger minds, I mean, how do you feel that art is going to go? Like, you know, what is the role of an artist in society? Like, how do you feel that the role is going to continue through?
It's tough. But I definitely subscribe to the idea of with so many things becoming automated these days that art will always have a necessary means in society. You know, And I think our main objective is just to bring joy to people, you know? So that can take on so many forms and so many shapes. I think it's up to the artist to find that venture and to plot away a path for themselves. But I think it's an essential part of being an artist. You know, you got to figure out where your place is and what you can
Yeah,
offer.
yeah, absolutely. And
Now, have you come across a student where you're like, man, this kid he's got some, or she's got something special?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have a student coming with me, a now graduated student dealing with a minor, but a now graduated senior who I'm like, hey, I want you to come with me to one of my shows. I want you to take notice. I want you to ask questions. I want you to observe because you need to be doing this.
Wow.
She is beyond talented. She's far superior to me, 18 years old, and she just doesn't know what I know. So I want her to then know what I know so that she can make a living for herself, so that she can grace the world with her work.
Wow.
She is truly my little special hidden gem that I have found. And that's not something I set out to do. It is something that fell in my lap, you know. So,
so Johnny also says, when you're drawing, do you need like to have it be silent, or how do
oh
you?
God, that sounds miserable. To sit in silence.
So
I
you
would have
like
to
to have the
be,
music?
like, clinical. I listen to so many YouTube channels, and podcasts. Rarely music.
Okay.
I love music. I was a musician once upon a time, but just listening to the same songs over and over can get like a little intense, even if it is like background lo-fi, whatever. Lots of podcasts. I'm a big avid podcast listener.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's
Yeah,
good stuff.
I'd like to get into some kind of podcast at some point. One of the things I also do is a horror channel. Sometimes we do called Scream Stream, that me and another educator, do. And, it's just for fun, but, at the same time, it'd be great to just kind of like dive into some of that podcast range. It's something that we've kind of talked about, but it's just being able to do it. That's the hard part.
Sure.
Um, but guys, like I said, once again, Mr. Collected. And speaking also of horror channel and stuff, this is what we got coming up, guys. Pretty soon, we're hoping to get Scream Stream kicked off. So let me go ahead and show you this real quick.
Let the game begin. Be sure to check out Scream Stream. But for poor Logan and Jacob, I'm afraid they won't make the team. They've been cut.
All right. So obviously we got Scream Stream. Now, if you know, that's the actual voice, Roger L. Jackson, that did that for us. So I appreciate that 100%.
Johnny also has another question.
All right.
Does your mood sometimes affect your artwork?
Rarely, you know. I kind of shut everything out, and just work. Not a very interesting answer.
No, but that's, it's what you do. I mean, that's how you, that's the great thing is that's why you're on here. We wanted to kind of find out a little bit more.
Kids, that's called being a professional. Don't listen to your emotions. Just work until you die.
So what do? Get you some snacks, put your favorite YouTube channel on, you have all your ideas, and then you just sit there and you just bang it out.
I just go. Yeah.
Also wanted to shout out real quick, SASSY. So this might be something that you and Mr. Cajun might be able to do as well. So Tills Pops, they are asking the community because I don't know if you've had a chance to see them, Mr. Collective, but they do some amazing job with their videos in relation to Funko. They create these little Funko videos. They do these parodies, and nobody really does anything like they do, but they do a really good job with it. And so they're going to do another parody. And what they're saying is that they would like people in the community that would be interested in being in the video to do their best Pee Wee impersonation. And instead of saying tequila, you say Funkos. So basically, for like, a minute and 30-second video dancing, you would send it to Tills Pops and just make sure it's a good quality type video. But definitely, like I said, if you guys want to do something fun and you know how well they do their videos, so you get an opportunity to be in that. So definitely, guys in the community, reach out to Tills Pops, Christina Payne. We definitely want to see you doing that. Just kind of going from there. So, but definitely, I would definitely have fun with that. So, what now shapes out the next couple of months for you? I mean, being off for school, you get an opportunity to do more of your art project, artwork, any kind of commission work and stuff like that. But you're also dealing with some cons and stuff like that. When do you go back to school? Is it like the second week in August?
Yeah, it's definitely the second week in August. We have about 2.5 weeks of like professional development and like getting our classrooms ready for the kids. So, I wouldn't want to say that I'll be AFK then, but like I'm definitely going to be like less. I'm going to be very out of office at that point. But I have like 3 shows coming up. I have 3 in October. Whenever I'm not doing that, I'm buying junk on Mercari and playing my PlayStation. I like to platinum video games, so I'm about to start Ratchet and Clank. I'm excited
Are you
about
by
that.
any chance coming to the Louisiana Comic Con in October?
I'm not, but I will be at Wizard World New Orleans in January. I believe that
Okay.
show's on New Year's Day or somewhere around there. It's like the first weekend of the new year. But I'll be there for
We
the
have
first time.
They
So,
have one in Lafayette in October. It's
cool.
usually in right around summertime, but it seems that a hurricane always is passing over the same weekend as the Comic Con.
Sure.
So it gets shut down. So they moved it finally this year to October. So we'll be having one in Lafayette in October. So I'm excited at the
Very
Cajun Dome. So
Yeah, but I'll definitely be around in January.
What's up, Mr. Holly English, the friendly pop collector? We got some new people coming in. And of course, what's up, Bees Poppin'? How are you? What's up,
Bees?
Buzzin'? And then, of course, the one and only Mr. Crispers, who his birthday is later on soon this month. There's so many birthdays coming up. It's just that have happened or are coming up. It's crazy.
Yep.
But we definitely appreciate you being in this community, just everything you offer, whether it's showing us the out of the box pops for those that don't want to take it out. They're like, hey, we're going to live vicariously through you. But just guys, if you guys are looking for a logo, if you guys are looking for something different for your channel to put out there, definitely hit up Mr. Collected's Instagram, give him a follow, look at some of his stuff that he's got up there, come up with an idea and then present it to him. His prices will be there. You have an opportunity to say, hey, look, this is what I want, but don't just come to him and say, hey, draw something for me. Make sure you have an idea. And definitely, like I said, you're going to get some great quality work. So I know people that I've spoken to, like I said, you look at Anthony Blaze, like his soda can, Beer to Pop, like you have a lot of people in this community, Luau, a lot of people in this community that have some product that is representation of Mr. Collected. So definitely hit him up, give him some work to do. So maybe he's not spending some time playing some video games. But But definitely, we appreciate you, Jacob, as always. Being on here and taking the time, especially after a busy weekend. Is there anything else that you would like to add? To anybody that needs to know, he has a Patreon, guys, so you can support his Patreon. What does your Patreon cover? Like, what are we looking at there?
Oh man, at the $1 tier, I offer just generally early access to my work. At some point, I would really like to make Patreon only Doofus Doodles. I'm worried that might be a tough sell because I've drawn so many things. But it's something I would like to play with. Oh, hello! I love Smash Mouth. My $5 tier is my sticker club. I do a different sticker of one of my doofs every month that everyone gets to vote on. I have a $20 tier, which is a pretty steep discount from what I offer. It's a monthly doofed character of your choice every month. I don't have anyone at that tier yet. Let me know. Trying to build up the portfolio. And then I have a $40 tier, which is your own personal commission every month, which is about 50% off from everything from my current prices. So I think it's quite enticing.
Oh wow! So see that could be a way to go right there, guys. I mean,
yeah, I haven't had anyone abuse it yet. I'm like, oh, what if someone comes in and is only a patron for 1 month? I guess that's bad business. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anything other than that, if you have any toys or collectibles and junk that aren't pops, nothing Funko related, please. That's just collecting dust. Send me a message. I'll take a look at your junk.
And definitely, like I said, guys, I know I have some Marvel action figures that I have hanging on the wall that I've been debating on whether or not I want to put them on Whatnot. Because I do you go into Whatnot sometimes?
Man, I don't look. New things scare me. Okay, so I know that Whatnot is the new cool trendy thing. Everyone's got a Whatnot. I don't know how to work it. I'm old. I don't like new things, So I as a 26-year-old, it's taken a lot. I mean, I just installed TikTok for God's sake, but I don't know about Whatnot yet. I feel like I'm missing out, but I don't know.
Well,
I need a Gen Zer to sit me down and like navigate through Whatnot with me.
Oh, there you go. See, Tails Pops. Like I said, they do. Like I said, if you check out some of their videos, they do a lot of parody covers for Funko. Funko has also featured with them a little bit.
Cool.
They might have an album cover. They're great guys over there. What's up, Emotion? How's it going? Hope you're doing well, my friend. The Friendly Pop Collector. Hopefully, things are going to be okay for you. Much prayers sitting in here in the hospital room. So we don't like to hear that. Hopefully things will work its way through. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, if Whatnot is not for everybody, but at the same time, the people that go, there's so many different outlets, whether it's comics or shoes or sodas or the pops.
Dude, people love it. It's all I hear about.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done an auction. I was thinking about doing one because I need to. It's just sometimes it's just like you said, you get that kind of laziness where you're like, do I want to do this? Because you got to set up a certain way. You got to decide what pops you're going to move or what's, how you're going to present it. And it's just like, and then whether or not you're going to have people come in. So there's just a lot that goes to that. Plus it's summertime, so as teachers, we do have the opportunity sometimes to be off on the summer. Like I just got back from camping with the boys. So, I mean, sometimes you just want to have that moment to just kind of relax at home,
Yeah, it is kind of like one of those things, like, how do I want to spend my free time? My very limited free time that I'm given,
But definitely, so definitely, guys, Tills Pops, you want to look into that. And you guys want to probably get with them as soon as possible because, he'll start filling up and get busy with some stuff, and you definitely don't want to have, um, you don't want to have to be waiting and waiting and waiting. So I would definitely do that. So you had a super bad asthma attack.
Sorry to
Well,
hear that.
yeah, I know my youngest has dealt with some asthma. Even me as a younger, I drank paint thinner as a child. I wish that my mom had it was a one of the Los Angeles Dodgers owned the apartment complex, and they were painting, and somehow I drank paint thinner, and I'm like, how did you not, like, in today's society, it would have been all over going to court, right? I mean, there would have been like all kinds of like suing and getting money and stuff like that, but it's just crazy. But we appreciate you being here, everybody that popped in here. If you're watching on the rewind, whatever the case may be, we hope that you're having a great start to your week. Stay nice and cool because it is getting hot out there, guys. A lot of people are having some issues with the heat. It's going to get worse. So try to find ways to cool down. One of the good things that can get you to cool down is to think about a design that you want to do, and hit up Mr. Galactic and get that going. Um, so I will ask. Okay, so if I thought about doing something with Scream, Ghostface, but the thing is, obviously, now you could just use your face with the robe and everything like that, or like, I mean, so that's where I've been kind of contemplating because I would do the line of horror. So I'm trying to decide where I want to go, because like I said, it's a tattoo. If I'm going to put it on there, do I want to do something Walking Dead style? Do I want to do Universal Monsters? So that's where I've been having kind of a snag, because you definitely want to, I wouldn't want to go in there and say, hey, whatever you think would be best, but uh, definitely, uh, guys, do your research. Have maybe a suggestion A, B, and C. Have three different designs. Maybe he can work through all. But he does. What's the deal with the props? You have props. You have busts. You can do full body. So, I mean, what are people looking at? As, I mean, if they did a sticker, you could do just like a sticker face type logo, right? I mean, you don't, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be a full body,
No,
you know.
no. I have a bunch of people that are like, hey, man, I just want a bust, which is, like collarbone up, throw some shoulders on there, it's your face, and then have your name underneath it. It's a super simple logo. I've done a ton of them. They're like nothing crazy to them. But then I also have people that are like, draw me as Boba Fett, and I'm like, okay, that's like less of a logo and more of just like a sticker design. But I do it all.
What's up, Killa? Chop and drop. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Mark
Mark
Schaefer's
Schaefer.
back.
Definitely appreciate you guys 100%. This is why when Sassy said that we were going to have Mr. Galactic on the show, and I've seen him in the past on different shows, 100%, but I was really excited because I enjoy looking at his artwork and just having that talent. Like, it's like, I mean, as a collector, as a creator, you want to be able to have that to add to your repertoire, and just the experience that you have over the years to get better and better with it. I'm sure you can probably at times seems like you can do it in your sleep. Um, but I love what you're doing. I love seeing the progression, from the first time we got to see you. I think it's amazing of being able to come in and create something like the cutie corn, which if you guys own one of these, then you know exactly what we're talking about. This is the creator for cutie corn, designed this, so um, is there any chance somewhere down the road, I mean, Funko is like saying, hey, we may reach out and see if you want to try something again, or are you just like, I don't know.
If Funko ever reached out to me, I wouldn't say no. I don't think they're interested. Um, but, I've been
Okay.
wrong before.
Well, Funko, you'd be crazy, 100%. So, all right. So, Sassy, anything else that you got?
Johnny has another one. If a person has tattoos, and they want to have a logo with their tattoo, is that difficult?
Yes, but it's not impossible.
So he definitely would give it a shot. You know, I mean that's
After many tattoos.
yeah.
Mark said he does a great job. He needs to do more Hermione and Luna from Harry Potter.
Well, if you join at the $20 tier on patreon.com/Mr. Collected, you too could have Hermione and or Luna drawn from Harry Potter.
And while while you're sitting there on the Patreon, maybe he might have like one of the shows like behind the scenes where he can break something down with you. You can enjoy your cutie corn mug and sip with some hot chocolate. As we get closer to Halloween. Now with the seasons, is there a favorite season for you? I mean, is there something that you really enjoy?
I mean, Halloween, like surprising no one. Halloween is absolutely my favorite holiday, just by far.
Nice.
Mark said you've told him that before.
um, but definitely, guys, we appreciate you guys being here and today being a part of this stream. We appreciate Jacob taking the time and giving us an idea of what's in the world of Mr. Collected. Obviously, a busy guy, so definitely hit up his Instagram. Take a look at some of his profile of some artwork and keep him busy. Keep him going because he obviously does a great job. And the more of his work that's out there, the more that will keep on coming in and that he gets known. So, but we appreciate you guys. So, Sassy, anything for coming up soon? Anything that you want to put out there?
Well, we have a video Wednesday and Friday as usual. I have a big Smy kitchen sink box that me and Bill Sassy's going to be opening tomorrow. I think I'm going to do a Whatnot Wednesday. I was supposed to do it tonight, but I changed my mind. We got the Box Battle Live is Saturday. 2 Box Battle year boxes.
Okay, my mystery boxes.
Yeah.
Which actually, Big Easy, I did tell him his box is on the way, so he'll probably have it Thursday.
Oh, good. He'll be able to do the box battle then.
It's kind of hard because I sent out Mr. Collected. I sent out all these mystery boxes the same day, and there was one of them that just for some reason the post office felt that they didn't need to work it through to the other person, and so it's somehow in limbo, somewhere.
Very cool.
It's just like, oh my god. So
well, speaking of that, Friday I got a box I had shipped to Frog Prince in January, just to Mississippi, 3 hours away, and it came back to me Friday since January that it couldn't be delivered.
Oh my god.
7 months, and I finally get the box back to go 3 hours down the road. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, also maybe Mr. Collected one of these days will have like a contest or something to allow an opportunity to get some artwork done or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Something. But definitely, guys. If you're interested about out of box pops, maybe you'd like to see something on the back, or if you have some toys that you're interested in, maybe seeing if he'd be interested in, hit him up. He's one of the guys in the community that's been around a while. He definitely will reach out to you. But we appreciate it from one horror fan to another. Absolutely enjoyed having you on the stream today.
Sure.
And look forward to what you can do down the road. In regards, and I definitely will come calling. I just got to figure out what it is that I want fully designed. So
sure, I get it. Yeah.
All right, so guys, we are going to be heading out. Once again, we do appreciate you guys being here, and if you're watching on the rewind, thank you so much. Definitely go ahead and show him some love. Hit him up. Once again, let's just kind of run through, some of the handiwork here. Look at the turtles, Spider-Man. There's a lot over there, Mr. Collected. Definitely, of course, one of my favorite, and he is a a huge Pokemon fan. So I know Johnny Funko would have liked to have seen the Gengar, but Mr. Collected, I mean, hey, he's right there. And then, real quick, I do want to touch what is the Dupus Doodles? I mean, I know some people may ask. So did you want to touch on that real quick?
That Doofus Doodles is just like my brand of style. Almost all of the art that you've shown, I consider my Doofus Doodles.
Okay.
A lot of people have me draw in like the Funko Pop style, but almost everything else is in the Doofus Doodle style.
Nice.
Yo, Flipcake, I've drawn one or two things for that guy.
And talk about another guy that does some great designs and stuff that he does with his work. I mean, he's always working. Flipcake. Although I think Emily is behind everything. I think she's the mastermind. But I mean, definitely Flipcake's always coming up with some great stuff. I mean, right now it's tough for me in the summer to do anything, but I definitely want, as we get to the fall, some horror tumblers. Definitely. So, but Big Easy, House of Pops, new member. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. 100%. And guys, so we are going to roll this one out. I'm pretty sure Big Easy will probably be doing a rando tonight. He usually does rando lives. So definitely go ahead and check him out. But the channel members and the super chats, let's give you a little shout out real quick. And guys, Mondays, you can catch us Monday. Who do we have next Monday coming through?
Pop in Missouri.
Sir Charles, Pop in Missouri. Definitely a great guy in the community. We'll sit down with him and kind of touch on a few things. He's been having some great stuff lately, especially a new channel he started up. So once again, so keep in mind for Pop In Around the World. All right, so let's go ahead and wave them goodbye. We're going to be saying thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great night wherever you are. Stay safe, stay cool. We'll see you in the next one. We love you all.